Hey folks, how you doing today? Welcome to a Let's Play of Soul Blazer. I'm Lionias, part of the Radical Dreamers team, bringing you this hidden gem from Quintet, same publisher that gave you Act, Razor, Illusion of Gaia, Terranigma. I'm going to try to play through the whole Heaven and Hell series for you. We're going to start with Soul Blazer, a little lesser known, so let's dive in, shall we? Wise men tell a tale late at night of a great king destroyed by the temptation of evil. The Frail Empire, as it was called in those days, was ruled by a powerful man, King Magrid. It seems most people thought the king was a fair and kind ruler. There were some, however, who felt the king himself was ruled by greed. One day, the king happened to overhear two guards talking about a man named Dr. Leo. Now, Dr. Leo was considered by all to be a great inventor and a genius. The king stayed up many nights wondering how he could use this great inventor to make him even more wealthy. All of a sudden, the king had an idea. He ordered his guards to capture Dr. Leo and bring him to the castle at once. Soon, Dr. Leo was brought to the castle. Pretty matter of fact, wouldn't you say? The king confined him in a small room and ordered him to invent a machine that would summon the king of evil, Death Toll. You'll notice a lot of religious connotation here. Dr. Leo finally completed the machine. The king instantly called upon Death Toll, hoping they might strike a deal. After many days, the deal was complete. The king would bring Death Toll all living creatures, and in return, Death Toll would give him a gold piece for each. One by one, all living creatures began to disappear. Soon the world was completely empty. Two people were watching this catastrophe, the Master and you, his follower. The king was very foolish to be tempted by evil. However, I will give him another chance. You must go down to Earth and revive the world, the Master said. On a ray of light you descended to Earth, a warrior sent to revive the living and punish evil. A Soul Blazer. Like I said, religious connotation really deep in this, which is surprising for an old Nintendo title. They really like to censor that kind of stuff out of their games, but this one looks like it slipped through the cracks a little bit, so let's go, shall we? A voice came from above. My followers, since you will be able to speak with all living things, you should have a name. Please choose a name for yourself. Don't mind if I do. This. Oops, that's me. Alright. Lionias, what an interesting name. Alright, go and save the world for all creatures. This is our hub right here. So if I go up, I can save. Later we'll be able to move from place to place. And then the other three take you around your current location. Different dungeons, closer to the boss, stuff like that. So let's go this way and see where it brings us. Excellent. Alright, open up this chest, and Lionias received the Sword of Life. Anytime you receive a new item, you're going to want to equip it, otherwise you cannot use it. So this is the equip screen. You hit X to get to it. You can have weapons, armor, magic, and items. We don't have anything but the weapon, so we'll do that right now. You can also get to a status screen by hitting the A button. There you can see your HP, the experience you need for your next level, strength, defense, anything you have equipped, and souls. This will come in handy a little bit later, very soon. If you hit start, you can see exactly where you are and the number of monster layers remaining. I'll explain that right now. Let's kill this guy. So this game has a pretty cool mechanic. As you can see, I can stab these guys right from the front, or if I decide to do this and hit him with the tip of the sword, I do double damage. So that's a monster lair. If you seal it, you release new creatures, like this one. I used to live up in the sky, just like you. Now I am living on Earth, away from the Master. All the creatures that have been captured by Death Toll are sealed away in monster lairs. Just as you have set me free, you must free everyone. Even the release of a small tree or creature will aid you on your quest. Here, take this. Lionias received the Flame Ball magic. Now I will join you. I am a magician, so I can use all types of magic. Translation's a little rough here. I'll try to fix it as I go. I will use my skill to help you. Remember this, I need gems in order to use magic. When you set me free, the monsters left some small spheres of gold. This is what a gem looks like. Alright, let's work together to revive the world. We must go to the Grass Valley Shrine. And you can see my gem count in the upper right corner. We have this blue sphere now. If you look in our equip menu, you see the souls. I now have the soul of the magician. He also gave me our first magic spell. Flame Ball. Needs 4 gems to cast. Shoot a fireball in one direction. Let's equip it, and we'll go forward. Back in the hub, I go down to Grass Valley. And it looks pretty empty. We need to rescue everything that was taken from here. And to do that, we must go to the underground castle. Leonidas heard a small voice. There are many creatures being held in the underground castle. If you can release those creatures, the village will be reconstructed. That was basically this rose. You can talk to any living thing in this game. Some things are a little strange. Later you'll see what I'm talking about with that. But if it moves, you can assume you can talk to it. So the rose just gave us this message. So let's go to the underground castle. And we're going to get some of these green creatures again. The monsters in this area, as you might expect, are pretty simple. It's a typical hack and slash sort of role-playing game. Similar to Zelda, some dungeon crawling. It gets a little harder later, but right now this is a good introductory dungeon. After we kill these guys off, just going to do 1 or 2 more, I think. There we go. Seal that layer and it opens up this tunnel. Some layers, when you seal them, open up new paths for you to go. Some will release creatures into the world, and others will give you treasure chests, items, stuff like that. So, alright. Let's get rid of this one and seal off this layer. Come on. Cool, so we got our first creature released into the world again. Leonidas released an old woman with a rather large house. You hear a sigh coming from inside the house. That sounds kind of sad. Well, let's see what's going on. So we can go back out and interact with anything that we have released. So let's check out why this old woman was sighing, because we don't want her to be sad. My husband used to be the village chief. One day, he suddenly disappeared along with the other villagers. I feel so lonely. How about being one of my children? Absolutely. Really? I will call you Leonidas from now on. Use the second floor as your own room. Here's an example of a strange situation where you can talk to something living. The chair, made from a tree, apparently is living. This is the room of the village chief. He used to sit and rock here for hours. I wonder when he's going to come back. Alright, so we get a little bit of backstory, to Grass Valley here, but not enough to really fill in the pieces of the puzzle, so let's go back to the underground castle and figure out where else we need to be going. Alright, so we got 2 paths here. We're going to go to the upper path. Get a new type of creature, these little plant guys. Again, they're not overly difficult. These move a little bit faster, so I'm having a real hard time hitting them. But they're not overly difficult. Excellent. And seal that layer to get an item. This item, Leonidas received medical herb. Let's check out what that does. Medical herb. Your HP will be refilled if your life meter reaches 0. These are very, very useful. Keep them in your inventory at all times, as much as you can, because anytime you die, you're going to be instantly refilled to full. So, invaluable. Invaluable. Whoop. So we have this little flame pit here that's shooting some fireballs at me. Let's get rid of it. The flame pit and those little blue water monsters that you saw, those do not have monster layers. They are just generated each time the dungeon loads. So we don't really have to worry about them too much. Excellent. So this will release that. Leonidas heard a faint voice coming from the jewel in the upper right corner. Alright, come over here. Sure. I will give you some advice. Don't forget to equip the things that you wish to use, or they will not work. Lionice received experience. Would you like to return to Grass Valley? Not yet. We still have some things to do here, so we'll stay. Come back whenever you feel like returning to Grass Valley. Excellent. Alright. Well, and there we go. I finally got hit. It was inevitable. It was coming. Seal this one off. And we get a new path to go this way. Kill off these guys. We're going to seal up this layer. We're going to seal a couple more layers, but I want to show you guys something that's very, very important and will save you a lot of later level grinding. This is going to be a 100% run, so there will be some grinding. As much as we can avoid it, you know, we're going to try to. But these monster layers, if you release a creature, you're going to refresh this dungeon. Of course, refreshing this dungeon will respawn these fire pits. So before we do that, let's kill these fire pits, since they do give us 2 experience each. That's going to be experience that we can just keep farming and keep farming and keep farming. Now we can go back, release this creature. Lionice, release the tool shop owner. Okay. So now, like I said, we can go back, and those fire pits are back there. So we have just gained an additional 6 experience with minimal grinding. We can also go back over this way. You see that water monster is back there. We have another fire pit below that, and 2 more water monsters. This has just opened up a ton of early level grinding that will save us later in this run. So let's do that, since I only need 100 experience to get to the next level, and I am 11 away. The music is some of my favorite. Quintet has just some of the greatest 16-bit music, you know, for this time, for this era. ActRaiser was amazing. This game has some great tracks, especially later in the game. If you're not familiar with some of these soundtracks, definitely look these up. You can go to YouTube, you know, find basically anything on YouTube. Get rid of these guys. They're starting to bug me. And what did we release? Excellent. So we've released another creature after we've gone through and redone all of those, all that grinding with those fire pits. There once was a watermill here before the village was destroyed. I hear there is a man in the mill who runs the elevator in the underground castle. I almost missed that text box, guys. Sorry about that. That's the Rose talking again. But what I was saying, we just got all those fire pits. We refreshed the dungeon. There's going to be another quick 6 experience, and I'm about to gain level 2. Done. Go back through, grind these guys again. The more you grind in the early levels, the more it saves you in the later levels. You will find that. Excellent. Well, I'm going to pause it from right here, guys, but you got a pretty good sense of what's going on in the underground castle. You got the importance of grinding and refreshing the dungeons. Join me back for part 2. I'll be back soon. We'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.